Hi everyone. Today we will study further with for loop because we already studied about for loop and we display a text like hello world or something, a fixed one using for loop and we actually had a look on how this for loop think functions, right? So that is actually very important. So now we will we will have a few sessions on for loop so that we can have some better understanding about for loop and the functionalities, right? So and how it can be applied for our purposes and all, right? So first I will write a serial begin here, serial dot I'm sorry serial dot begin. Okay, serial begin 9600. Okay, you know what it is, we already studied it so many times. Okay, so now let's write a for loop here. So I will write a for loop for I is equal to 0. Okay, I is, let's say, less than 10. Okay, so and I plus. Okay, so and I will open a curly bracket and close one, and also I am defining an int I here inside the void loop, so no problem at all. So let's write int I. So I already explained you how this for loop is implemented, and you may remember that I is 0 comes on top of the for loops when it is being implemented, and and the condition is inside the loop. So maybe I is less than 10 is inside the loop, and the increment, the third part comes at the last line of the loop. Yes or no? Yes. That means I plus plus means I is equal to I plus 1. So I explain this and I explain you how these things are actually working. So if you have any questions regarding that, you can go and watch my previous video on for loop so that you can understand how it works. Okay, so this is the functionality of it. Okay, so the program runs in this scenario, but when you write the for loop which way? This way. This way. Okay, so if you have a look on the for loop, you should understand it is going to work like this. So this picture should be in your mind. Okay, so I am removing it anyway because I have explained it. So and every time I can't keep explaining it, it will take a lot of time. So you can go and refer my previous video so that you can have some understanding. So earlier what we did is we serial printed a fixed value here, right? So like hello world or something we printed, right? So what we earlier did is serial, you can go and watch my previous video, println. Okay, and let's print a hi. So it's a short letter, so you don't need to type much. Okay, so and you can have this. Okay, so this will keep printing the hi, so you know how it works. And forget about the looping concept because looping means it keeps happening always, but the for loop is responsible for printing hi 10 times, and you know how. Okay, from the previous video. So now what we are going to do is we are going to print some numbers. Okay, so what I am going to do is somebody comes and asks me, I want to print the number from 0 to 9. Okay, 0 to 9 continuously. So write a for loop to do this. Okay, so what I will do is I will say okay, and I will write a loop, and when I explain you will understand how it is being happening. So earlier what I did is using a for loop I printed the text for a particular number of times. So that's a fixed text, but now it shouldn't be like that because earlier we are repeating hi. Now it shouldn't be like that. Now first you have to print 0, then in the next iteration you have to print 1, 2, like that, and at the end you have to print 9. Okay, so there should be 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you have to go in that way. So that is very obvious. So now you have to print a variable, right? Varying value. Earlier you didn't do like that. Earlier what you did was you are printing a fixed value, hi, like that. Okay, but this time you have to print a varying value. So you can't have a fixed value within the serial println. You should have a varying value within the serial println. So how to do that is the question now. So obviously we should have a variable within the serial println. So how we can do it is, now you see in the first iteration, okay, what is the I value? I value is 0. Okay, yes or no? I value is 0. So what we do is we say I is equal to 0 and we check the condition. I is less than 10. So 0 is less than 10. So the condition is true. So we get into the for loop. If you don't understand, go watch my previous video and then you will understand what I am talking about. Then we come to this line and we until we if we make this I is less than 10, this condition is false, we are going to keep looping within the for loop, or let's say we are going to keep repeating the same for loop. We are not going to go down that, or we are not going to go upper than that. Okay, we are going to keep repeating within the for loop. So first the I value is 0. Yes, everything is fine. So what will happen is 0. So let's say whatever happens here is happening. So forget about the serial println. Then in the next iteration, what is I value? I is incremented by 1, no? So I is become 1. So then again another iteration happened. Then in the next iteration I become 2. In the next iteration I become 3. Then I become 4, 5, 6, 7. Until I become 10, I is going to be increased, no? When I become 10, it will become false and the for loop will exist. So until I become 10, I is going to increase from 0 to 9. So I is the one that is going to increase from 0 to 9. Okay. So what we can do is, in the serial println, what we can do is, we will print I. Okay. So if we print I within the serial println, what will happen is, I is going to be a varying value. I is a variable, right? So in the first iteration, what is I value? 0. So 0 will be printed. Okay. In the second iteration, I is being increased by 1. So the new I value is 1. So now 1 is going to be printed. In the next iteration, I will be increased by another 1. So new I value is 2 now. Okay. So now 2 is going to be printed here because I is a variable. So we are going to print a varying value. So likewise, in the next iteration, I become 3. 3 will be printed by the serial println command. So likewise, I will be printed until 9. So when I become 10, what will happen? This if condition become false, and we will skip this part and we'll go to the next line. That means we will exit the for loop. So you will see at the end of the day, you will have 1, 2, 3, okay, 3. You will have such this kind of output, 5, 6 in the serial monitor, 7, 8 and 9. So if suppose, I'm sorry, it will start from 0, right? Because initially I was 0. Suppose if someone comes and asks you, I don't want the numbers from 0 to 9, I want the numbers from 1 to 10. So what you will do is, you will go here and you will change it as 1, and you will change it as I is less than equal to 10. So now what will happen? Initial I value is 1, right? So what will happen is, we will check the conditions. So 1 is less than 10. It is true. Less than or equal to 10. It is true. So we will come and print the I value. So 1 will be printed. So then in the next iteration, I will be incremented by another 1. So new I will become 2. 2 will be printed. In the next iteration, I will be incremented by another 1. So here, so I plus plus. So new I is 3. Yes or no? Yes. So new I is 3. So 3 will be printed. In the next iteration, I will be increased by 1. 4 will be printed. Like that, I will keep printed. So when I become 10, what will happen is, we'll come and check the condition again. The condition is less than or equal, not less than or equal. So 10 less than or equal to 10 is true. You know that, right? So 10 also will be printed. Okay. Then what will happen? I will be incremented by 1. Yes or no? So 10 plus 1, 11. So the new I is 11. So now you'll come and check this I. 11 is less than or equal to 10 is false. So the for loop will be skipped. So 1 to 10 you will have printed. You understand what I'm talking about? Likewise, you can print any number of patterns in any way you feel or you want. Okay. So if you want to print up to 100, you can have the value as 100, limiting value, so that the I will be keep incremented until this condition becomes false. So until I becomes 100, this for loop will happen. I will be keep printed, displayed. So you can print 1 to 100. See how beautifully it is being done. So if you don't understand what I explain, I urge you to go and watch my previous video and then come back to this video, and then you will understand. Still, if you don't understand, what you have to do is you have to write the for your understanding, you have to take a piece of paper and write the working scenario of this application. So how does it happen? So this the declaration, not value assigning, coming on top, then for will coming the condition will come within the for loop. So you will check it here. So let's say, come on, 10 or 100. So then you will open and close the bracket, and you will have your code, serial println code here, and then at the last line you will have I plus plus. So if you remember this scenario, if you take a piece of paper and write this scenario, and then okay, then you will in the paper, in the inner side, you will keep writing. You can keep writing. So you can have the serial println here, serial println part here. So I will copy that and paste that also, so that you can understand. Okay, paste. Okay, so in a paper you will write the I values for each and every iteration. So then you will see that particular I value will be displayed. Then you will obviously see from 1 to 100, or 1 if this is 10, 1 to 10, the numbers will be printed, and then when the number if condition, that for loop condition become false, this loop will be skipped. Simple as that. So this is just a functionality. Okay, so don't apply any rules to that. This is just a functionality. But if you write like this in the coding, it will not work. But if you don't understand, you can write this in a piece of paper and understand how this for loop, okay, this for loop works. So if you don't understand, the one and only choice you have is go and watch my previous video and come back to this video and rewatch it again. Then you will get the point. If you still have questions, you can ask in the comment, and please consider subscribing us. So okay, I will catch you up in the next video. And now you have some clear idea about how you can use for loop to display variable numbers. Okay, like using a variable that you are using to iterate the for loop, right? Get the point? Okay, so I will catch you in another video, guys. Bye. Thanks again.